So why does it feel like we're losing to this administration? My last video explains that I think what we're experiencing right now in the US is an extinction burst of racism and white supremacy, but that it's not as bad as most people think, and I said I would explain why. So, meet Steve Bannon. He was the chief executive for Trump's 2016 campaign, and then he became the White House chief strategist until he was fired in 2017. But they have been using his strategy ever since. It's called flooding the zone, and they literally still brag about it to this day, how good it is at overwhelming Democrats or anyone who doesn't like what Trump is doing. Trump sends aggressive and violent ICE agents into our cities. Wait, did you see what he tweeted about the Obamas? No, this is all a distraction from them seizing those ballots in Georgia. No, he doesn't want you to remember that he still hasn't ended the war in Ukraine. Did you hear that he wants to put resorts on Palestinian land? I hear he signed 20 pardons last night. How many executive orders have he signed this week that are all unconstitutional? And so on and so on. It's exhausting, and it's working at convincing a lot of Americans that they have a lot more power than they actually do. Because we all start asking, who is stopping them? The courts are. Trump is losing far more cases than he's winning, but the headlines move on before we find that out. That's the whole point. They know that a majority of what they're doing is going to get blocked, and they're going to be able to do plenty of damage before the system can catch up, and it will be enough to convince Americans that they have this unlimited power that they simply don't. They just have to keep the headlines moving to make it seem that way. Did you know that they tried to overturn gay marriage and failed, even with the stacked Supreme Court they have now? It was hardly a blip on the radar because they just kept finding outrageous things to distract us from their loss. Find ways to look for the wins because they will not be in the headlines. That's what will make it easier to keep hope.